Even though there's pretty much just a few things they can afford conveniently, you'd still find people spending on things you'd naturally not expect them to spend on because of their status. There's obviously no rule book on what anyone can use their money for, but sometimes there is a point where we draw a line between spending wisely and wasting money. Have you ever wondered what keeps a rich man rich and keeps a poor man poor? Well, money management is a topic for another day because in today's video, I'll be taking you through 10 things poor people waste money on. This is lavish luxury. If you've not already taken the action, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get you going with some of the best luxury and finance content you can think of. Stay tuned. Number 1. Credit cards. While credit cards represent the kind of solution you'd want to take when you're in need of quick cash, they don't exactly represent the finest of options for poor people. Poor people get credit cards so they can be able to have some money with them. But the truth is, most times, they use this money for something that is not exactly worth it. These people are known to max out credit cards on a monthly basis, and what this only does to them is to dig them deeper into their poor situation. For someone with a low income or simply no sure means of making big money at the end of the month, getting a credit card only seems like a way to indirectly work for the bank, because whatever you earn, a portion of it will always be directed into paying the debt, and as a result, you're left with little or nothing at all. Number 2. Gambling. Unlike taking credit cards or getting a loan, gambling is actually different. These poor people have the money to manage themselves or live comfortably. But you see, there's always a burning greed that wants them to earn more, and that is exactly what gambling presents. However, the gambling system is not built for people to make massive earnings or to keep winning over and over again. In fact, you simply are not going to get rich from gambling. Instead, it will only get you in a miserable state that leaves you with regret as to what you could have done with the money you lost. This is one of the reasons why the value of contentment is important for poor people, because if they don't have it, they are more likely to lose money than they ever will make it. Number 3. Buying designers. This is somewhat a part of living a lie or living a fake life. Poor people are, of course, not satisfied with their condition, but somehow they just want you to believe they're doing fine and actually rich enough to afford some things. In the process of doing this, they end up spending more money trying to impress people than they're actually using the money for something important in their lives. You'd see them wear some of the top designers, either for bags or shoes or clothes, and even though they can barely afford it, they are just willing to do it to convince people they're not poor. Even sometimes, this kind of spending comes from when they've gotten their monthly or weekly paycheck, and in their own way, they would just rather treat themselves to something special or get something expensive to celebrate. Number 4. Buying the latest tech. Everyone wants to use the latest iPhone or Samsung phone, and well, it's absolutely the world we're living in. Even someone with barely a good income wants to use the latest phones because that's what's trending, or they're worried what people would think seeing them use an older version phone. This is actually so bad to the extent that people literally change phones in the space of a year just to conform with the so-called norm in the society today. Poor people are mostly suspects when it comes to this, and even though they'd save quite a lot choosing a low-budget Android phone, they would rather buy an iPhone. And you see, most of them always eventually have issues with maintaining their phones. And as iPhones come with certain costs attached to using some of its key functions, it leaves them with even more bills to pay from an already next to empty pocket. Number 5. Homes beyond budget. Just like every person, poor people also want to live in really nice apartments. But the mistake that they make is that they always choose places that are beyond their budget. It's totally nice to get a place that is conducive and comfortable, but the question is, can you afford it with the amount you earn? If not, settling for a low-budget option would be the best thing to do, rather than living beyond your means. Many poor people don't understand this, and that is why you'd find them looking to sell their homes barely a year or two after securing the place. But when you get a place that is pretty affordable for you, you literally kill two birds with one stone, because you'll also be saving money. Number 6. Impulse shopping. The truth about shopping malls or stores is that they're built so that when you come in, you buy more than you came in for. It's probably one of the interesting strategic plans you can think of, but well, not everyone will be pleased with it. Part of the ways poor people waste money is by getting unnecessary things when they go out shopping. And while it's not exactly an easy thing to do, the only way out of this is to ignore that urge to get something else and say no to buying things, unless of course that they are important. In short, if you don't have plans for something, try not to get it when you're shopping, because it would only make up a list of things that are just a result of careless spending. Number 7. Fortune tellers or lucky charms. There's always that one time that you'd be going through Facebook or maybe somewhere online and you'd come across an ad about a fortune teller or someone who can give you the right things that would get you rich. Even though you might not eventually look into it, you must have probably read it up until the end. Now, that's how enticing these things can be. And while you might be able to look away from it, others might not. These kinds of things are specifically designed for poor people, and instead of using money for something else that might be important, they'd rather pay it to these so-called spiritualists that can change fortunes. Number 8. Health. The saying that health is wealth is a very important one, and it just goes to stress how important your health is. If you're not in a healthy state, you won't even be able to chase that bag and be rich like you want to. So taking care of your health should be a priority. Even though this is an important aspect of life, poor people seem to take it quite literally. When they're sick or going through something, they prefer to manage the pain themselves instead of taking care of it when it's at a minimal level. They'd even take to getting cheap drugs without prescription, and this can surely be bad. It is always better to deal with any issues we have at an early stage, because when it piles up and takes longer, it becomes even more serious. And at that time, you'd have to pay substantially more for proper treatment. This is a typical example of costs that could have been avoided. Number 9. Expensive dinners or outings. It's absolutely okay to have a nice time or go out to enjoy yourself. I mean, everyone needs a break, right? Going out to dinner or to watch a movie can be a really nice thing to do. But when these things become too frequent or you go out to expensive places when you really can't afford that kind of spending, then you miss out on the whole idea of taking a break and enjoying yourself. Enjoying yourself is good for you when it's not seriously putting a dent in your wallet. If it is, then you're definitely doing it wrong. Number 10. Miracle diets or fitness products. Just like with fortune tellers and those who offer you lucky charms to buy, miracle diets are pretty much as unrealistic. They'll tell you that it's possible to lose your weight in just the space of 2 weeks max, even though you spent most of your life at that same size. You'd also see offers on fitness products that will get you ripped or have you fit in a few days. See, these things are just too good to be true. And again, they're designed to take money away from the little that poor people have. The truth is, if you really want to get ripped, stay fit, or lose weight, you are the one who determines that with the things you do. And to add to that, there are several free options online to exercise and get your dream body, even though it will take some time. It's totally okay to acknowledge that you've made a mistake spending wrongly, but then the real action comes when you change your ways. What are your thoughts on these money-wasting ways? Which do you think is the most dangerous? Kindly respond in the comments section, and don't forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video.